All right, let's welcome a very special guest to help us with our draft today from one of the probably 40 or 50 best podcasts out there right now, PFT Commenter from Pardon My Take. PFT, what's up, man?
40 or 50 best. I like that. That's one of the nicest things that anybody's ever said about us. So thank you for having us on. You guys are learning the lingo of the biz right now. You were just talking about doing a throw. You read the Podcasting for Dummies book that we sent over.
We're seasoned professionals.
I've had enough reps now that I'm beginning to learn the lingo.
Okay, so just so I know, there's a big difference between doing a Mount Rushmore, doing power rankings, and doing mock drafts. They're very different things altogether. Yeah, I guess you could say you're just listing like your top 4 or 5, but there's small differences. So for the record, this is a draft, correct?
This is a draft, yes.
Okay. All right.
No, Mount Rushmore, I think we should say Mount Rushmore is an absolutely brilliant, genius, unique concept that we would never hope to replicate under any circumstances. So we should just say that for the record as well.
No, my favorite are the people that actually think that we invented the Mount Rushmore. Like, we started doing Mount Rushmore season in the summertime as a joke because that's what every single local sports talk radio show does between the months of, like, no offense, JJ, but like, once it's just the NBA playoffs on TV and nothing else over the summertime, that's when Mount Rushmore season really kicks into high gear. And so we just stole it from every single local sports talk show. And then we did it enough that now people think that we invented the concept of Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, we definitely did invent the concept of a snake draft. Let's be very clear on that.
Yes.
PFT, do you know that JJ and Big Cat are neighbors?
Yeah, I heard that Big Cat actually looks down into your apartment, JJ. I heard that he's like a little bit higher up.
This.
The outdoor space is a little bit nicer at his place. That's what I'm told. That's that podcasting money, though. So
yeah.
I guess
once you guys sold and he got that big check, man, he got a nicer apartment. He got a major upgrade. I would say this: his patio and my patio were literally across the street from each other. Like, I could throw a tennis ball to him, and but we're definitely eye level. Definitely eye level with each other. He's definitely not above. His penthouse is not higher than mine. Just to be clear.
Wait, he has a penthouse? I didn't know that. I haven't gotten the invite over yet, so I'll have to check it out soon. I did hear that he has plants outside, that's a little bit bougie.
He's an adult now. He's got a young child, man. He's got a young child.
He's a father, so he has to start. That's as close as he's going to get to like mowing lawns now, like, and really embracing dad culture. He's going to have to get into like buying nothing but New Balance sneakers, wearing fanny packs, cargo shorts, and then mowing his like whatever, like 4x4 strip of grass that he has outside.
What would it take for you to make the Dumbo move?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like I've become a city mouse now. Like, Dumbo might as well be out in like Westchester County. You guys are out in the burbs out there. I love New York. I'm not ready to write my why I left New York essay just yet.
For our listeners, can you just go into a little bit of detail here on your handle, PFT Commenter, and where that originated from? Because I think the story is pretty cool.
Right. So, the comment sections, there was a time back like 8-9 years ago when comment sections were still kind of just where you went to get all your real takes, like the real uncut, raw Peruvian flake takes. And it didn't get watered down and distilled by a website with editors yet. And now, over the course of the last 8 years, basically the entire internet is written by internet commenters right now. So this was like before that shift started to happen. And so I just started a Twitter account, just essentially putting myself in the brain of a commenter on the Pro Football Talk website. And you had some real insane people, but people who were like also so insane that they were geniuses in a weird way. And so I started a Twitter handle just replying to Mike Florio's tweets, roasting him, giving my football takes. And then that ended up becoming a column that I started to write. And then one thing kind of led to another. And now I do a podcast. So it's been, it's your basic American dream.
You crush a podcast. You crush a podcast. You don't just do a podcast. Fun. You crush it. Yeah.
It's fun. We have a good time.
Do you think it's safe to say that the original PFT commenter would have enjoyed JJ's game?
Yes, in a way, but I think he probably would have been more of a fan of like JJ if you had, gone to a public school, instead of going to like, the hoity-toity. Is Duke still the Ivy League of the South, or is that UVA now? I can't keep track of which place is the actual Ivy League of the South. But maybe if you went to like, I don't know, like Iowa State or Wichita State or West Virginia back in the Pittsnoggle days, I think that would have played a little bit better for me.
If I had gone to University of Florida, which was my second choice, or UVA, which was, well, UVA is kind of hoity-toity, but still a public school. But if I'd gone to Florida or University of Texas, I wouldn't have got the hate I got at Duke. No chance.
Definitely not. But it's good for the brand. Like you at least had a brand, you know? Like it's better to be first. They're not going to hate you unless they respect you. I think that's what Tim Tebow tweeted out the other day. So you created a solid brand for yourself by being so extremely punchable.
Who's the grittiest current NBA player?
I mean, I feel like I gotta stick with my man Udonis Haslem. That might be like recency bias, but a guy who all he does is just work out and never plays. I respect that. I respect that part of his game a lot. And then obviously Delhi. You know, Delhi's always going to be circling around the conversation a little bit. So I would say, yeah, those are my top two right now.
All right, let's get to the draft. We changed the draft This happened before with Chris Long. We changed the draft topic about an hour ago because you guys wanted to draft urban legends that we thought we we wish were true or that we hoped were true. But I decided to change it because as I kept going through urban legends, there was nothing but really dark shit. So
it's true.
You know, I had a couple good ones. I was going to do Jimmy Hoffa being buried at Giant Stadium.
Yes.
Solid.
That would explain a lot, actually, about the current state of the Giants and the Jets. I was going to go with the rumor that, like for the senior prank, somebody painted 3 pigs with pig number 1, pig number 2, and pig number 4, and then let them loose in your high school. And then they found the 3 pigs and spent the rest of the week trying to find pig number 3 that never existed. That's like one of those rumors that I think most high schools had, and I don't think anyone ever executed on it.
Yeah, never actually heard that one before. We instead are going to draft a very open-ended topic, and I have no fucking idea where this is going to go. We're going to draft things you don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Stuff you don't get.
Stuff you don't get.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, PFT, you start it up.
All right. I think I got a pretty strong one to get things started. I don't get why we only eat eggs in the morning. Like, can somebody explain that to me? I don't.
Yeah, I agree with this.
Eggs are delicious, and we eat them almost every single day. But you never eat an egg after noon. You know, like sometimes you'll put a sunny side up egg, like on top of another dish. You know, maybe like I think I've seen one on like a salad before. But you can put eggs on other stuff. But I'd say 99% of the world's eggs they're eaten.
Yeah, like steak and eggs.
AM.
Why couldn't steak and eggs be an entree at dinner?
Right. Why is an egg a breakfast thing? It makes no sense to me, and I'm always puzzled by it.
The egg industry lobbyists just own that space. That's what it is. They have just marketed the shit out of it, and they own that space. I think it's a cultural thing. Honestly, it's a cultural thing. There's other if you go get a bowl of ramen, there's a soft egg in that bowl every time, and that's dinner and lunch right there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like the soft boiled, sometimes marinated in like miso or something like that.
Yeah.
That type of egg. That's a nice little treat. The big egg industry needs to come out with like a specific like dinner egg, a dinner style of preparing eggs.
That is actually true. Like egg is in pad thai. It's in some food, but they don't brand it right. They don't even get credit for being in it.
Right, just kind of mixed in there.
Yeah.
Tommy, please draft the next one, please.
Okay. All right, I'm up first. The first thing I don't understand, I technically do understand why this is the case, but what really bothers me is restaurants that make you wait to be seated till your whole party is there. Even when I say to them, if I sit down, I'll order whatever food you need, I'll do a minimum, I'll do this. I just want to sit, and they basically make you stand there like a joker while your party is inevitably 15 minutes late. I don't get that.
Yeah, I feel like that's a very specific one for you in particular, Tommy, because you're organizing these massive dinners, and you're like, okay, everybody be there at 9 p.m. prompt, and You're like, oh, sorry, Chrissy Teigen and AOC are going to be 45 minutes late, so I can't guarantee you that we'll all be there at the same time. But yeah, I kind of agree with that. Like, if you have 4 out of 5 people, they should just let you sit down and start ordering.
I will say this: the two of you who would we have dinner are very punctual, but most of the people in my life are not, and it's really annoying because you don't want to be that guy, but you're also like, we're at a restaurant and the reservation is 8:00. You can't show up at 8:46.
Yeah.
Well, in fairness, most of your friends are celebrities, and you can't trust celebrities to be on time.
I agree.
That's what it comes
At
down
all.
to.
Neither of you two are celebrities, so
Like,
Exactly.
I don't have anything else going on. Of course, I'm going to be on time for dinner. Meanwhile, like, Martellus Bennett is not going to show up before I am, you know?
JJ, do you know? We'll get into this later. You know that the two of us went to Amsterdam together, right?
No. When was this?
4th of
that
July.
trip?
4th of July last.
Yeah.
It was me, Jesus, PFT, and Bomani showed up for some of it. Bomani Jones.
How many edibles and brownies did you guys partake during that trip?
0. Absolutely. You know what? I don't think that we did any edibles in Amsterdam because we just found a cafe that sold just like straight up bud to us, and we just hung out down in their basement smoking weed.
Yeah, we basically had this one spot that we would wake up and go to, and we would open it up and we would close it out.
This is great because I just want to remind you guys that we just did an interview with the former director of the CIA.
Oh, fun.
No, I'm just not that he cares if we smoke weed. I'm just saying the juxtaposition of the prior 45 minutes of this podcast until now. Okay. All right. I have a lot that are science related, so I'm gonna say my number one pick is just quantum physics. Like, I get that we're talking about subatomic particles. I get that, but it kind of is confusing to me how you study that and the theory of that, and also that collider that's in Switzerland underneath the ground looking for the God particle. It's just like I believe in science, but the quantum physics, over my head.
Yeah, the God particle. I don't really know if anyone truly understands what it is, but scientists did a very good job of naming it. So we all like kind of understand. Oh yeah, it's the God particle. Right. We're all familiar with the God particle. Is that the same thing as DMT, or is it different? I don't know.
All right. Second thing I don't understand is why. And look, I love the guy. I love Sam Presti, but I still to this day do not understand why he traded James Harden a year before his free agency, and he was restricted, and they were coming off the finals. I just don't understand that trade to this day.
Agreed. PFT thoughts?
Kevin Durant pulling the strings. That's the only explanation I have.
Kevin Durant, friend of old man in the 3.
Yeah, and I like Kevin Durant, but I also love just like baselessly tossing out accusations. Like, was there a Batman and Robin situation he was uncomfortable with? Who knows? Who's to say?
Maybe. All right, I'm up second. I don't understand steak fries. I basically don't understand I don't understand potatoes that are not crispy French fries. I don't like baked potatoes, mashed potatoes, any sort of potato. But steak fries in particular, I find to be disgusting.
But you don't understand them, like you don't understand how they don't get crispy, or you don't understand why.
No, I don't understand why
them.
they exist. I don't understand why you would take something like French fries, which is pretty close to a perfect food, and you would make them mushy and big and bulky and slimy, and that's steak fries.
Okay. I understand what you're saying. You're just like, why would anybody choose to have, in my opinion, I'd say, why would you choose to have a steak fry when you could have either a French fry or a baked potato? It's like, it's a tweener way of preparing
the
potatoes,
food,
right?
It's not that I don't like the food. I mean, there's a million foods you could say that for. They just shouldn't exist. There's no one is asking for steak fries.
Yeah. I think steak fries were invented when there was just like a really shitty chef that had terrible knife skills, and he didn't trust himself to cut the potato down small enough to make actual French fries.
They just did it bulky? Maybe.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go with science on this one. I'm going to say shout out to Insane Clown Posse, magnets. Don't get them. don't get magnets. Still to this very day, I don't understand how you can hold two things together and then they just start picking each other up. It's creepy.
Have you ever heard the phrase opposites attract?
I have, yes.
I think that phrase comes from magnets. It's oppositely charged particles that attract.
Oh, interesting. The odd couple. So it's a positive and negative charges. They suck into each other. And then if you have two of the same, they just repel each other entirely?
Yeah, I think that's basically how it works.
Okay, interesting. But yeah, I understand like in theory why they work, but like the way you just explained it makes sense. But when it comes down to it, like I don't understand how two rocks can just like suck into each other and become attached.
Have you guys ever seen those? I don't even know if they exist, but maybe in theory they exist. Those trains that like run above the track, and it's like magnet technology, and they're like super speed trains.
Mm-hmm.
That to me, I don't understand.
Yeah, no, thank you. I wouldn't get on one of those.
Yeah,
I like to be grounded when it comes to my transportation. My next one is going to be. I'm going to just go with compression sleeves. Maybe you can help me out a little bit on that, JJ. I feel like you've kind of become a compression sleeve guy over the years. It's just strictly to look cool, right?
You talking about the long compression sleeves on the legs, or just in general?
The legs are the ones that like go over your elbow down to your forearms. It's just because you want to look like Allen Iverson, right?
I actually think it supposedly increases blood flow. I think it has something to do with that, as opposed to
That's a good thing.
Well, I don't know if you knew this or not, but blood has oxygen in it,
right?
And when you're playing a sport that requires aerobic activity and the use of your cardiovascular system, then blood flow and oxygen is a positive. It's a positive.
Okay, so you can tell the difference actually if you're playing wearing.
I don't know if you can tell
sleeve.
the difference, but they give us really tight, like even tighter than the compression shorts we wear in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But like compression sleeves that, like if we have like a bruise on our thigh, let's say, they'll give it to us when we fly, so that while we're sitting on the plane for 3 hours, we're modulating our blood flow. There's other ways to do this.
Wait, so compression shorts that are tighter than, isn't that potentially painful?
They also, you get like a Game Ready or like one of those Normatecs, the huge sleeves, and they pump the air in, they squeeze your legs, and they release.
Mm-hmm. I've seen those for recovery. Yeah, Jay Glazer put us in like these giant pants that he basically inflated until it felt like your legs were just in a giant vacuum. And afterwards, I did feel better. So I guess I understand that. I just thought that your compression sleeve on your arm was just covering up your Trump tattoo.
I have no response to that.
Speaking of compression, what kind of shirt is that?
Oh, this is just a rowback shirt. It's just like a quarter zip. It's got a wild pattern on it, but it was free, as you can probably tell.
Have you guys done merch?
Part of My Take merch?
Yeah.
Yeah. We sell a few things. We sell a car stick. We sell hooded sweatshirts. The car stick is for when you drop your phone down.
A car stick? What's a car stick?
Well, let me tell you, JJ, have you ever been in your car? I mean, it's probably been a while since you've driven. You probably get, you have your driver take you around, your chauffeur. But when you were driving and you dropped your cell phone down in between the car seat and then the center console, and you can't get your phone out because it's like such a narrow little crevasse there. Hank, our producer, invented a stick that you can use to just put down in there, and then you just scoop your phone out with it. It's called the car stick.
But what's different about this? First of all, why have we not been sent these? Because it's actually a brilliant invention. But what's different about? Is there like a magnet on the stick that gets the phone? Like, how do you pick up the phone?
It's basically a stick. So, but it says car stick on it, and it's shaped kind of like a hockey stick. So ergonomically, it's got great design. There's no magnet technology or adhesive technology. It's a perfectly designed piece of wood that fits right in that spot, and you just kind of like wedge your phone out with it. So you kind of saw through the entire thought process. It's just a stick.
All right, Tommy, take your third pick.
Okay. My third pick is I don't understand why people cry on airplanes all the time. like all the time. And it's usually from movies that aren't sad. And maybe it's the altitude. I don't know. I was looking it up and there wasn't like a real answer, but I would say back in normal non-COVID times when I would sit in the same row or next to somebody in a plane, it was like 1 out of every 4 times. They weren't like sobbing, but they were emotional. And I just don't understand it.
That feels kind of like it might be a you problem, Tommy. I don't know too many people that have this experience where like they just sit down on an airplane, the guy next to them starts weeping.
Have you guys never seen people cry on the plane? Is this unique? Maybe they're crying because they're next to me. I feel like I've talked about this with other people before. This is definitely a thing that exists. And it has something to do with the air pressure or the altitude, but I don't get it because it doesn't happen at other places with high altitudes.
Do you typically shower before you get into a plane?
Depends. In the morning, if it's an early morning flight, no, because I want to sleep.
Yeah.
And the shower keeps me up. But if I'm doing a red eye, for sure. And if I'm doing like in the afternoon, I will shower. I'm not coming on stinking. Mm-hmm. I don't like, because you don't want to be that guy in your row. You know, the person who everyone's kind of giving the dirty look to.
JJ, have you ever had this problem, or is this strictly a Tommy thing?
I think it's the quality of the in-flight entertainment that Tommy, he probably flies on really nice airlines and he's got really good movie options, and so do the rest of the passengers. I think that's what it is. But no, I don't cry on airplanes. That's a weird thing. I can unequivocally say, by the way, that no one is going to win this draft. This is an unwinnable draft. Just want to let you know.
I think I'm going to win this draft.
Your picks so far have been terrible. All right,
we haven't finished yet.
All right, my next two. I don't understand TikTok, and I'm aging myself here, but I don't understand it. And then I also I like wine and I like beer, but I don't really quite get how fermentation works. It's just very confusing to me. It's a very confusing chemical process.
Let's start with the TikToks. What don't you understand about TikToks?
I don't get it. I don't get the point. I don't get it seems like it would be very time consuming to come up with these videos. I don't get why people watch the videos. I'm not hating on anyone. I just don't get it. Am I off base there?
PFT, do you get TikTok? I understand TikTok.
I understand it. I'm too lazy to really get into it, you know? Like I have scrolled through TikTok and it does a very good job of figuring out the kind of stuff that you want to see. Like it understands your brain very quickly and the algorithm catches up to exactly the kind of videos that you want to watch. And so I get why people would get into it. And I mean, it's like a 15, 20 second short comedic film that people can put together. So I understand, like we don't have a big attention span these days. So if you can make me laugh in 15 seconds, I understand that. But it is one of those moments where like, I know I'm never going to be good at TikTok and I'm not going to pretend that I totally get it. That's just like the generation beneath me. I'm going to let them have that one.
The secret to TikTok is it's all about good dancers, and none of us are good dancers. So if you're a good dancer, you'll walk up and dominate TikTok. But if you're not, you're kind of you're going to look sweaty and forced no matter what you do.
Okay.
Fermentation one, I just have no comment on.
I mean, I get like, I guess on a molecular level, it just confuses me a little bit. It's hard for me to understand. Maybe I need to spend some time.
This feels
doing
like
harvest.
This is a good deep dive for you.
Maybe I need to talk. My dad brews his own beer. Maybe I need to spend a weekend with him and really get into it with him. But I've never experienced it firsthand, so I just don't quite understand it.
Right. As far as I know, you leave a liquid in a basement for a long enough time, and then after like 3 months, you can go down and get drunk off of it. That's as far as I understand the fermentation process. All
right, my fourth pick, turtlenecks. I don't know. I don't think turtleneck. I don't understand anyone who says a turtleneck is comfortable. Period.
Okay, Tommy, this is a very Cleveland Browns type draft for you. Like, I don't really understand many of your picks. I kind of get them.
I don't either.
I kind of get them. I want to actually change my last pick to Tommy's draft. I don't get.
You got 2 picks. You got 2 left.
But yeah, okay. So turtlenecks, they make you look like you're smart. If you see a dude wearing a turtleneck, you automatically add like 30 points to that guy's IQ.
It is true. If I saw PFT in a black turtleneck at some coffee bean, I would immediately think he was like a tech CEO or something like that. Like
Or like a movie director. Movie director. Yeah.
You look smart and pretentious.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could be a professor easily.
Right.
It's like a jacket with patches.
All right, let's finish this off. What's your 2 picks here?
All right, so I'm going to say I don't understand. This is pretty wide open. The internet. I don't understand how the internet works, like from a scientific standpoint. Like, isn't that it's people don't think about that enough.
You're right.
We have these cables, these like huge fiber cables that just straight up run underneath the ocean from the United States over to Europe and everywhere else. There's like a physical cable that it just lives under hundreds and hundreds of feet of water. And then I can like hop on Zoom with somebody and say something and they can see my face instantaneously. All that shit gets sent like through an ocean across the world at faster than light speed or however fast that it is. That's just, I don't think that we take the time to appreciate how amazing that is sometimes.
I agree with this. I agree with that.
agree
That
with
probably
this,
should have been the first pick, honestly. It blows your mind.
He's doing the thing where he's frozen.
I'm thinking about it right now. Yeah. Like I can watch Monday Night Football. I can do a Zoom with you guys. I can do like 900 things at once involving high-speed video, HD video.
You can blow your entire net worth. You can trade it all away in minutes.
Yeah.
All right, closing it. My 5th pick, Ted Cruz. I don't understand.
Just don't get him.
Yeah, I mean, we I don't need to belabor this. JJ had his massive public feud with him this weekend. I will just say the thing I don't understand about Ted Cruz, even more than anyone else in politics, is Donald Trump called his wife ugly to his face and claimed that Ted Cruz's dad was responsible for the assassination of JFK, and yet Ted Cruz spends every waking minute trying to kiss up to him. And so to me, it transcends any policy or anything like that. It's just like as pathetic as you can get. And so he's my 5th pick.
We all know how I feel about that, man. All right, my 5th pick. I don't understand why Interstellar gets so much hate as a movie. It's one of the greatest movies of all time, and yet it's not highly rated on Rotten Tomatoes. There's a lot of people that don't even rank it as the best Nolan movie when it clearly is. It's a masterpiece. It's Christopher Nolan's masterpiece, and it doesn't get enough credit. I don't understand.
I think the reason why it might not get as much credit is because a lot of people don't get Interstellar. That's a hard movie to like totally comprehend. So you don't get why more people don't get Interstellar. Yeah, I think that there are a couple movies like that. Syriana, The End of Trading Places, or is it Trading Spaces? I can never remember which one's the one on HGTV. Trading Places is the Eddie Murphy one, right?
Eddie Murphy movie, yeah.
Yeah, The End of Trading Places when they're in the stock market. When they're in the stock market in Philadelphia, I don't understand how all that stuff works. I just know it ends up well. But yeah, Interstellar is an awesome movie. I agree with you. I think that it is underrated.
Would you cry, JJ, if you watched it on a plane? It's kind of sad at the end.
No, I wouldn't cry. I did cry the first time, but I wouldn't cry. Let's do the mailbag question real quick. Tommy, fire it up.
Okay, this was supposed to be for JJ, but PFT, you should answer this too. As a young player coming into the league, how much business knowledge do you guys have? At what point did you start getting involved in ventures outside of basketball? Based on what you know now, how early would you have started learning about business? Any examples of screw-ups you wish to share? From Barry Smith. Thanks, Barry.
I'm going to let JJ handle this one. I feel like the question about coming into the league that's more of his area of expertise.
I would say that I started investing right away, my rookie year, and have done that for the last 14 years. My main financial mistake that I made was buying a house my rookie year at the height of the market and then having to sell it post 2008. That was unpleasant. I don't think I would do anything different, to be honest with you. Maybe not buy that house, but it was like 2 weeks after I got drafted, and rates were whatever they were, and didn't have to put a lot of money down, so I bought a house. Yeah, I don't think I'd change anything else though. PFT?
My only piece of advice is don't move to New York. That's it. That's the best financial advice that I can possibly.
I second
give
that.
Anybody.
I second that.
We got two former Austinites on the show.
Yeah,
Austin has become super hot again. I don't know. I mean, never really fell off, but right now it's booming.
JJ, do you ever go on Trulia and look at what you could be renting or purchasing in Austin for the price that you pay on your condo or whatever in your mansion in New York City?
I don't know that I have a mansion, but yes, I do. I spend a lot of time on Trulia on searching in 78746. I do a lot of that. 78746, Westlake. Boom.
Yep, it's depressing. I had to block Trulia actually because it was bad for my mental health spending too much time on there.
All right, PFT, we appreciate the time, brother.
Yeah.
And
listen to Pardon My Take.
Yeah. You guys don't need any more listeners.
Yeah.
Can I do an ad for one of my ads on your own podcast? Roman swipes. No, I won't do it.
All right, man. Later.
See ya.
See you guys.